Okay, hi guys. We are on tonight. Tonight's video, I just kind of wanted to come on and check in with us and see how we are doing after, the 5 sessions that we've done. We did quite a bit of learning on the previous 5, so I want to, hi Angela, glad you're here. We did quite a bit of learning the last 5 sessions, so I kind of wanted this to be more of a question and answer check-in to see how everybody is. Tell you a little bit about the shadow work stuff, synchronicities that have been going on my side. I'm trying to get it up so I can see the chat here. I'm so slow with this part. Sorry, guys. Yay! Book Lioness made it. That's okay. I don't think this is going to be a very long one this time. So we'll see. Well, I mean, it depends on how it feels. But hi, Johnny. Glad you're here. Okay, I got it up. Yay. That didn't sound very good. Okay. So, I do think this may be a shorter session. Hi, Sherry. Good to see you on here. Okay. It's been a very weird day. Let me just start with letting you know that, and if you follow me on Facebook, hi Marcia, good to see you. If you follow me on Facebook, you will have seen I posted an obituary on there. My cousin's son actually committed suicide last weekend. I didn't find out till today. He was 18, and I don't know what it is. There seems to be this influx of, teenagers and young adults with the suicide thing. And I just feel like it's sad that things are so hopeless, that people are feeling such little amount of hope that they think it'll never get better, and part of that is being young, unfortunately. And part of that is the times that we're in. It just, everything is so divided, and spirituality is growing, I think. Spirituality as a whole, there's a movement of actual spirituality growing. And whether that means religions or spirituality without religion, when that happens, I think sometimes that the opposite reaction to that, hi Dustin, I'm glad you came. The opposite reaction to that is also darkness. Like we're talking about the shadow work, and unfortunately, when we find lightness, when we see the light with stuff, unfortunately, there's also a lot of darkness in the world, and there has to be some kind of balance, right? So the fact that this young man, and I'm going to tell you, I didn't know him very well. Our family on that side is a very large family. Not that, I did some. But at 18, to feel that hopeless is just such a sad thing for me. To think, to look at something and think it's never going to get any better than this. It's a product of being young, I think. At least in that, space. There's been a lot of suicides going on. I don't know if it's increasing or if we're just hearing about it more. But I see it as a problem in the country with hope. I think people have lost a lot of hope. Yeah, I know, and I have to say, Marcia, I had a couple friends who talked about suicide. I never I mean, I went through teenage angst, you know, but I never thought of that as a way out. So I just wonder sometimes if it's the, hi Allie, glad you could come. If it's the product of the world that we're creating, that everybody's so divided, that things are so dramatic all the time. It's a sad thing that suicide is so prevalent. So that was the dark side today. The other side was some good things that came out. No support system, yes, and I've talked about this before. In the context of, I'm such a geek sometimes, I'm sorry guys, but in the context of the Bates Motel, I don't know if you guys have seen the TV series Bates Motel, but it was incredible. Hi Alice down the rabbit hole, I love that. What a great name. If you have seen the Bates Motel, I really feel like technology has caused a lot of disconnect. So there's a lack of feeling, support, and human connection. I know what, you know, it's weird that technology can bring us all close together when we talk about like this YouTube community, how close that we all feel. And it can also feel very disconnected when you don't have a lot of human contact too. So, hi honey, I'm glad you made it. I love being able to say hi honey. It's so cute. There are not rites of passages to look forward to in our young people these days. Absolutely. And I feel like that's definitely something missing. You know, Aboriginal people from every corner of the world had some kind of rite of passage when you got to be an adult. And that is definitely missing. I know for my boys, I feel like they faltered a little bit when they first wanted to go out into the world. There wasn't that rite of passage. Like, we tried to create that for them, but they all kind of stumbled a little bit when they first went out into the world. You know, my son PJ especially, who is the addict and went through a lot of that kind of stuff. And you know, I know what kind of house we raised him in, and I know what kind of a kid he is, and how smart he is and all that, but it's just it's a different world. And you know, I was trying to tell my mother that a couple months ago, because she's like, well, she's weird. But she was trying to say that it was not any harder for my kids to get a house than it was for her generation. And I'm like, bullshit. There's financially, there's all kinds of traps out there credit wise. I'm 46 years old and I will never have good credit because I screwed my credit up so long ago. It's ridiculous. There are things on my credit from when I was an idiot teenager. So and now all of a sudden you have to have this perfect credit, and perfect credit isn't even from not, you know, having a lot of debt. It's just, if you don't have any credit, you can't build it. It's really difficult to build it too. It's just a weird world. So much stigma connected to saying you're dealing with mental health issues. It makes people not seek out help from others and even medical professionals. Media portrays mentally ill people. Absolutely. That's what I was going to say about, sorry, my ADD. The Bates Motel. The Bates Motel TV show is a great, great series. One of the things that highlights that I felt so bad for Norman the whole time is because our mental health system is so broken. It is so broken. There is no place for people to go. No place. There is, you know, even if you're in a crisis, they will take you to an emergency kind of center for a little while. You have 48 hours, 72 hours, something like that. But if you don't have money, they don't do a whole lot. My brother-in-law is very mentally ill. We've taken him in several times throughout his life. For the last 20 years, he's lived with us probably half the time at least. But then has outbreaks with alcohol and gets to the point where we can't have him in our house when he gets to that point. And there's no place for him to go. He's been in and out of emergency kind of care centers and stuff, and there's no follow-up. There's nobody to follow up with him. He's been in and out of prisons. He's back in prison now, I hear, unfortunately. Which is not the place for him. I mean, he's an idiot. I'm sure he did something stupid, but he's very mentally ill. So he really needs help and treatment and someone to follow up with him to say, how are you doing? Is there anything, how is your meds? Can we change your meds? And there's no place to follow up like that. So I think we're in big trouble. I don't know if it's just the United States that is that bad with the mentally ill. I suspect that it's not. And I don't know what the answer is. The answer isn't, more psychiatric centers like we used to have when I was young and before I was young. But there has to be some kind of services. We have good services in Canada. No kidding. Well, we should check it out. Although, of course, it's not going to happen under Trump. Some people die from drug use. That's true, Johnny. It is. It's awful. I've seen people be kicked out of the mental health facilities who were begging and pleading to stay because they weren't safe, but they didn't have insurance and they had to go. Exactly. It's a very sad state of affairs. So, I wonder, my cousin, 18 years old, and decided that it was never going to get better. I can't imagine the amount of despair and hopelessness. Just that hopelessness is, I've never been that hopeless. Hi, little dandelion. I'm curious to see how you react to this, because I know that you're still living with your parents, so I know you're a young person. We were talking about my cousin, actually my cousin's son, so like my second cousin, who was 18, committed suicide this weekend. And we were talking about how difficult it is for young people today and how the mentally ill don't have any place to go. I don't know what the answer is, which again, unfortunately, I don't have any faith that Trump will help to fix that, but many mentally ill people are non-compliant on their own. That's true, Sherry. That is true. And my brother-in-law, Dan, he is one of those who, and when he got non-compliant, he would start drinking, and then that's when we had to make him leave the house, and usually it ended up with the police here and in a big crisis situation, and then he would get help for a little while, and then once that emergency situation was over, they would walk him out the door, and we were not letting him back into our house right away. So it's, then I don't know what happens from there. It's sad. Unless you force people to be institutionalized. So that comes in that form also. It's a tricky subject. Absolutely. It's like being in a black hole. You believe the world would be better off without you. You think people will be happy you are gone because you're such a burden. I lost 3 people to that. Really, Alice? Ugh, that is terrible. That amount of despair. People need hope again. I do feel like there is a spiritual awakening that's happening. Not a religious awakening, but a spiritual awakening that people feel the connections of each other. And I think we need to encourage that and reach out to people. And again, I feel funny saying that because, like Jehovah's Witness and stuff that come to your door, I'm not talking about that. But this kind of forum that people can talk about it and help other people to try to connect to those energies in the universe, I think hopefully will help that somewhat. Thing is, we need to be more kind to each other. Yes. Stop bullying. Yes. Stand up to people when someone else is being mistreated. Yes. That's a big deal that leads to depression. Yes, it absolutely tears you up. And it just, like I said, it's tragic for anybody. But for some reason, it just hit me especially hard that he was 18. That he was 18, and to feel that hopeless is such a sad thing to me that people can be 18 and feel that hopeless. You have your whole life in front of you and so much changes. To feel like it will never get better than this is just, talk about shadow work, bring you right down. I struggle with anxiety, and our current society really isn't too friendly with mental health. I know, honey. It's a mess, and having no insurance can be difficult if you need meds or therapy. I know. I don't know what the answer is. We have to be better, though. Here's the thing. People have always been bullied and misused and abused. What is the difference now? I know. I had to stop watching the news. Oh, Marcia, I hear you. My husband is a news watcher, and I sometimes have to just go, okay, I'm done. Let's watch a comedy show, or let's watch a movie. Let's something, because I can only stand so many hours of this. And then I'm, as an empath especially, I'm like, okay, I'm starting to want to slit my wrists. It's time to shut this off. We can't do this anymore. Nightmare having no insurance and getting older. Yes, yes, yes. I cannot believe that we are supposedly the most industrialized country in the entire world, and we do not have the right to health care. That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Absolutely and totally ridiculous. I don't care what your politics are. That's not acceptable. It's just not. My husband too. Marcia, your husband too. There is more pressure on kids today than in our old days. That's true. Internet makes it easy to bully, insult, pass judgment, and kids have more access to ways of dying, pills, guns. Yeah, my cousin shot himself. And apparently that is a male versus female thing. A lot more males do that. Females usually take pills, apparently, or something more passive. And males, boy, when they decide, they just want it done. Sad. So sad. So now I have a wake and funeral and all that stuff to go to. Oof. I never watch the news anymore. I can't. I'm too empathic. Okay, honey, turn on Matlock. Not being political, but everyone should see that movie, Sicko. Yes. Yes, that is a great movie. And I try not to be political either, but I know that, I mean, people who watch my channel know I'm a liberal. That's just who I am. And I'm not going to apologize for it. I try to be as open as I can to other people's beliefs. Politically now, it is becoming very difficult in our country, especially, in America especially. The political divisiveness that is built in at this point is such that my mother's boyfriend is a Republican and was a Tea Party person. And it kills me because as long as I don't talk to him about politics, he's a very nice man. But if politics comes up, I don't get it. To me, their politics are really like, screw everyone else, I'm out for myself. And I want to understand the other side. I talk to anybody that wants to talk to me. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. And to me, the amount of people that abuse the system that they're all worried about is very small compared to the amount of people who actually need the help and would give anything to have that help. So to me, it's just not worth it to not help anybody because you're worried about a couple people who may be abusing the system. I don't get it. That's the politics part of it. Sorry. You have a shitload of millionaires in the USA. It boggles my mind. Thank you. I know it. I always, I can't tell you how many times I've said to the universe, I swear, if you let me be a lottery winner, I will prove to you what a good person I am. I have all kinds of plans in my head about how to help out people who really need help, and how I have all kinds of ideas. I've had all kinds of ideas, for years. Just let me prove it. Yes, we did not have the internet or cell phones, which I am glad of. That's true. Women worry about who will find the body. They don't want you to have to clean up after them. Oh, that's true, Angela. How horrible. I didn't even think about that aspect of it. But yes, they don't want to inconvenience anyone afterwards. How stupid. I was bullied every day from 4th grade on. I hate when the chat jumps. There it is. And I grew up with guns. There's something different now. I don't know either. Professionals and forensic police come in to clean up. Yeah. Some people flip a switch on that topic. That's true. I don't care about politics. Vote for who you will. Make the country better for you. See, it flipped again. There's a sense that nothing matters. Dying matters to no one, which makes suicide appear like a reasonable option. I know. I think when it's that young a person too, I think they think sometimes, well, I'll show them. Everyone will see how upset I was and nobody, helped me and stuff. They don't realize that that's it. You're done. You don't stick around to see how upset everyone is. Not that, your spirit energy can't come back after, but they don't get how final that is. I understand that. It's just why women often take pills. They are worried someone has to clean up after them. Yes, I have the perfect plan to help the poached animals. Just need the lottery. See, me too. I think it's time for women to be in charge. I agree, Marcia. 100%. Yes, I got that after I read it out loud. Oh, yes. And there it jumps again. I always think of others when dividing up my imaginary lottery winnings. Me too, Dustin. If I could just prove it. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Johnny. Actually, my father-in-law died from alcohol-related stuff, too. Hi, Sue. We're having a horribly depressing discussion. I'm glad you're here, though. I'm going to turn the corner here in a minute. I've been that low before, but somehow I always make it through. Me too, little dandelion. Like I said, I have never contemplated suicide. That just was never an option for me. I just knew at some point things would start to get better. So I guess it's a good thing I'm too scared to die and I'm stubborn and refuse to give up. I'm still alive and fighting. Good for you, little dandelion. And if you ever need, help remembering that you have to fight, message me. Shadow work. Exactly. Shadow work. Hi, everyone. Dinner time here. Hi, Spiral Heart. I'm sorry you're coming in on such a depressing conversation. I was saying it's just been one of those days. My cousin committed suicide this weekend. 18 years old, and it's very sad. So we were discussing some of that. I also wanted to discuss, because I did an unboxing of these two awesome decks and realized that they are both incredible decks for shadow work. And so, problem is that impulse is there so often for mentally ill people, and if you just act once, it's game over. Often, if you wait 5 minutes, feel hope can come back. Exactly. I think it's that moment of desperation, of hopelessness, that if you could just get through that moment, the next moment, will get a little better. And the next moment will get a little better. But you have to, that lowest of the low points, you have to somehow be able to reach out and not go through it alone. So, good news part, let me switch gears a little bit. The good news part is these two decks that I got a couple days ago. I was drawn to, Lucy Ledesco there, Tarot for Shadow Work. I have seen that deck, and I have heard that that is a great, great deck for shadow work. I do not personally have it, but it seems like I have seen unboxings and stuff of it, and it seems like it would be a really good deck also, for sure. For sure. Having been there, I can say that you don't care if things will get better because they can always get worse again. I know. Like I said, I don't know what the answer is. We have to somehow find a way to help our mentally ill people way more than we are. In buying these two decks from the artist's website, they're actually on sale if you buy them together right now. So it's the Dark Goddess Tarot and Tarot of the Crone. And the author of both of these is Ellen Lorenzi Prince. Oh, you can't read it, can you? Backwards, damn it. But the artist, her name is Ando, Arnell Ando. And I have been emailing back and forth with Arnell, who is an absolutely wonderful person. She is just incredible. And she watched my unboxings and sent me copies of the books, which I started to read and thought, oh my goodness. These books and these decks. I started actually with Tarot of the Crone because that's where I'm at in life. But the Dark Goddess deck, because we've been talking about the Dark Goddesses, is wonderful too. And there are in this extra content that the artist and the author sent me. There are things in there like guided meditations and special spreads and stuff like that. So I had written them to tell them how incredible I have connected with these two decks in the last couple days, and how excited I was that they are in my life. And I said, you know, I want to make sure that I tread very lightly with your copyright stuff. I don't want to share stuff that, you know, is not allowed to be shared. So I need some guidelines. Give me some guidelines, because I share, you know, everything with my channel. And I'm very excited and would love to be able to share some of this content with my channel. I got an absolutely wonderful letter back from Arnell. And I'm just trying to find it. Sent last night. That was the one before. We've emailed back and forth like 6 times now. She is just a gem. She's wonderful. So I just wanted to read it because I thought, what a great email. So she said, oh, Jen, your thoughtful, beautiful email means so much to both of us beyond words, Spirit Sister. Ellen is very touched that her work has such resonance and personal meaning for you. She says to let you know she's cool with your sharing the breathing black exercise on your channel. As I had said, a specific exercise. And trusts your discretion if you decide to share limited portions of her work in a caring manner, mentioning her name, which of course I would. Then go right ahead. You have your discretion. So, yay. Hi, Xanthia. So glad you could join us. So we have, you know, my discretion for using some of her content for our Shadow Work series, which I am insanely excited about. This author and artist team are incredible people. They are wonderful spiritual leaders. The content that they have come up with is amazing. Amazing. And the fact that I now have, me too. Are you talking about Pulcharos or something like that, Marcia? It's actually the artist's deck. Has another deck out with another author, Carmen something, which that looks incredible too. And I told her next payday I'll be ordering that one too, because that looks incredible too. It's absolutely beautiful. As a matter of fact, the Carmen, who did a lot of the, I wonder how that works, because Arnell did it with this Carmen, and Carmen did a lot of the paintings, and I thought Arnell was the artist part. I'll have to look that up. But anyways, Carmen's original works for that other tarot deck, which of course it's like Poltheros or something like that. It's on her site though, Arnell Ando. If you go to her site, the other deck is there. But the original tarot paintings are going to be in a exhibit in New York City in November. And I thought, oh, I wonder if I could get together with, you know, my husband and, hi Keith, glad you could join us. And a couple other people, and head up to New York City to see the artist's original paintings. I think that would be really cool. But yay, in the meantime, we have gotten permission to use some of the study books, the different Need Dark Goddess Tarot, and the other one is amazing also. It is. To use some of this content for our study. So I'm very excited about that. We've gotten the okay. I will, anything that we use in our discussions here for study, I will be putting their website and stuff on after the live goes up to keep up with the copyright. But I just was amazed and very grateful that they were letting us use that. So yay. And they posted my unboxings and reviews on their website. So that was really cool. All right. I honestly, because of, I was going to try to do the first exercise that I do want to do is called the Breathing Black exercise. It is a guided meditation, and I was going to try to do it tonight until all this other stuff came up, and I just am not in the right space for it, to be honest with you. I to have Native American tarot cards. Yes, there's a couple of different Native American decks that are really good, Johnny. Look them up. As a matter of fact, one of the ones I really like is called Vision Quest. That's really good. But I would definitely like to start that part of it this weekend. His wake is tomorrow and his funeral is Friday, so I think by Saturday, like I said, I appreciate all your thoughts. I didn't know him very well. I knew my cousin is his dad, Rusty, and so I really feel for them and his wife Wendy. But you know, I knew him a little bit, but I really feel bad for the parents. I just can't even. Wendy, there's no words. I don't even, what do you say? I'm here, I love you, and that's about it. There's nothing you can say. I can't. I keep trying to think of if that was one of my boys, what I would want to hear, but there's nothing. There's nothing. So, but I think Saturday would be a good day to start some of this work. So Saturday, plan on same time, about 7:30, if that seems to be okay with everyone. We'll start with the guided meditation, which kind of brings you to the forefront of this shadow work. It kind of, the reason I wanted to use it is because it's a great beginning tool to really bring you down into your shadow, into your darkness, to introduce you into your darkness, and it kind of brings you together with your darkness, which I felt immediately. Just reading it, I felt, much less going through the actual meditation of it. So I'm really excited about doing that. And I want to do that Saturday. So we'll plan on doing that Saturday, and I'll have a couple of the exercises that go along with that. And if you don't have, this specific one is from the Tarot of the Crone deck. You do not have to have the deck to do the exercises. I'm going to show any cards that are relevant to what we're doing, to the exercises and stuff like that. But I really feel like these two decks in particular are going to be at the forefront, at least for now. And I will pull in some other ones too if we have suggestions. And don't forget, we have that whole pile, which I still have someplace. Oh, I put some of them away. Oh, I put them up here. But we can definitely pull in other decks and stuff too. So that's good. How does everyone feel about what we have done so far? Has anybody, been trying anything out? Have you been doing any exercises on your own? Yes, 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 Sherry, absolutely. Let's see, I think it was our first video. We actually showed a bunch of crystals and talked about which crystals were good, but you can be assured that any usually dark crystals like black crystals and that kind of thing, obsidian is good. It's kind of a harsh crystal though. So my go-to is smoky quartz. I like smoky quartz. Did shadow work with the Dream Dust Tarot over the weekend. Went really well. Oh, that one looks so beautiful. I bet that would be a good one too. That looked beautiful. I've had that in my cart in Etsy for a couple months now, I think, and I just haven't been able to push the button yet. Reaching out to Sekhmet, preparing myself. Yes, and how wonderful. It's funny, I didn't realize until we read that night about Sekhmet that I had started to go down the path of Sekhmet before, and actually had been kind of veered off onto Maat. But I have at least 2 or 3 different whole books on Sekhmet. And that's how big my library is, that I didn't realize until afterwards. So I will pull those out and look too, because I bet you there are some great shadow work kind of stuff in there too. I want to do the movie or TV show shadow work, but I haven't watched the TV yet. Also haven't had time. Shadow work. There's a TV show shadow work? Really? Where the heck have I been? I'll have to look that up. Is it an American-based show or BBC, or I have not heard of that at all. Ah, that must be why. Where is it based out of? Because I actually have, I shouldn't say this on live TV. I have like a cheap box that I can kind of get anything. It seems like Bastet and Sekhmet are the same, but from upper and lower dynasties. I have heard that too. Now, I have not studied enough about Bast or Bastet. Just reading a book at the moment by Buckland. Oh, I love Raymond Buckland. I was so upset when we lost him a couple years ago. Let me just pull out and read about Bastet real quick, because I have heard that same kind of thing about them. They keep it in the shadows. I am trying to put together everything I need to do the shadow work. Find the right deck, rewrite my notes, and start the exercises. Okay. And that's good, Angela. I'm not saying that's not good. That is good. I mean, it's a shadow work by watching TV. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. The exercise that we talked about before. Duh. The last one, the last video we talked about watching a TV or drama show and picking out the villain, right? And trying to relate to that villain and say, okay, what of his or her qualities do I have? Can I figure out what reasoning they have for doing the things that they're doing? Which is such a good idea. I have not had a whole lot of time to watch TV lately either. It's been weird at work the last couple of weeks. Okay, Bast, also Bastet. Egyptian goddess of anointing, goddess of the moon and the sunrise. Bast rules love, fertility, sensuality, and music. Her name translates as female of the ointment jar. And she is the creator of perfumes and oils. Bast is the mother of cats and the magical power they contain, and is often depicted as a feline-headed woman holding a sistrum. As protector of women and children, she is the guardian of the household and the bringer of health and prosperity. Her main festival is held on October 31st, when worshippers celebrate with music, dancing, and lovemaking. She is thought to be the duality to Sekhmet. So there you go, yes. So everything that Sekhmet is dark in, Bast is light in. How interesting. Interesting. I have a Native American spirit guide. I don't have Dark Goddess. That's okay, Johnny. You can work with anyone you want. The Native Americans knew shadow work absolutely also. So there is, a Native American spirit animal that can come to you for your shadow work. There is Native American guides that can come to you who, Native American anyway, most often come to you in animal form, depending on which Native American tribe your faith goes through. How in the heck do you people remember all this stuff? I need a better memory for details of God's names. Believe me, I can only hold so much, and then it starts kicking other stuff out. So don't worry about it. I look through my books all the time. I always have usually I can at least say, oh wait, I think it's in this book. Doesn't mean I have it in here. Have to go. We'll be here on Saturday. Okay, Marsha, I'm glad you came, honey. Thank you. I like Demeter and Persephone for shadow work. Absolutely. I love Demeter and Persephone's story itself. I don't know, as a mother maybe, was one of the first that I really connected with. And I just loved the story of the mother being heartbroken and where is my daughter, and then being really super mama bear pissed off about the fact that, you know, either Hades tricked her or her father actually gave her, depending on which one of the stories you believe, you know, you go by, her father gave her to Hades to marry, and mama goes crazy. And you know, the story itself is a great story. And so the feelings and emotions there, I absolutely love working with them also. I love looking at the villains in shows and movies. I see a lot of myself in them quite often. Lee Lin. I love that name, Lee Lin. Thank you for coming. I do too. You know, villains, especially when they're interesting and multifaceted villains, and you really need to figure out why it is they're doing, what are their motivations. That is a great exercise in shadow work. It's a great thing to try to connect to them and say, okay, if that same kind of thing were happening to me, would I react the same? Would I react a little different? Cherokee, I see. Okay. I watched Fantastic Beast. Johnny Depp character is wonderfully evil. And that's a hard one unless you've read the book. And I have not read that book yet, as far as his motivations. Although, because of who he is, which we now know, we kind of know a little bit from Harry Potter, you know, what his motivations are. So that's a really good one. Okay, my brain is full. Good night, folks. Good night, honey. We will be back on Saturday. This is just going to be very informal anyways, the end of this. I am working with Bast and Hecate for shadow work, actually. Hecate is my go-to chick. I, the last couple of years, have worked with Hecate and continue to work with Hecate. So absolutely, I adore her. I haven't seen that. The first one is great. I can't wait till the second one comes out. I'm a, you know, Harry Potter fan all the way. I read my kids' Harry Potter so long ago. I remember my poor son, my oldest son was deathly, he was so sick, thrown up, horrible sick one Christmas. And we were reading the book where Dumbledore has to make Harry feed him the water from the well that hurts him terribly. And as a parent, seeing Dumbledore as kind of a father figure to Harry and telling him, you have to keep feeding it to me, even though it's hurting me. And Harry is just, the book makes it so engrossing that I was sobbing. My son he was like, Mom, I don't even understand what you're reading. I'm like, I'm trying to read this book to my son who's like, Mom, I don't even get what you're saying. What are you talking about? I'm like, oh. I'm not sure who to work with for shadow work. I usually work with a few African deities. I don't know if you connected with any of the ones that we talked about. God, my brain. I know, do you know Oya's girl? Queen Aset over at Oya's girl. Oya is her matron goddess, and she talks a lot about Oya. So if you want to know more about Oya, that would be, it's all one word, Oya's girl. I love her. She's just great. But she talks a lot about her. If you do not connect to her, let me know if there's any other ones that you want to hear from. One of these books, like, directly says, I sobbed through that part of the book too. It was really hard to get through, right? Wasn't it? And I'm trying to read it to my poor son, who is like, I don't know what you're saying, Mom. One of these books takes the goddesses from where they are. Oh, yeah, this one. Here we go. So is there a specific area of Africa that you wanted to look at? Because, oh, I think this one does. Am I right? I'm looking. Hold on. I'm in Gryffindor. Yay. Very hard to read, but Snape really... Oh, my gosh, I know. Oh, I have a Snape shirt that says always. Especially after the actor died. Gosh, that was like... Oof. Off topic, but I saw a squirrel on my walk today and I thought of you. Yes, thank you. Squirrel. I did too. We have black squirrels around here, so which I think are really cool. I don't know why I think they're cooler, but I think because they don't feel like they have to blend in as much, they kind of want to stand out a little more. I like the black squirrels. They think they're badass, so I think they're badass. Nigeria. Okay, let me see. Egyptian temples. Hold on. I don't even know if it's this book now. I thought I was looking at the right part, but I don't think I am. If this is not the right book, I may have the right book downstairs. And I think, are we friends on Facebook or anything, Xanthia? Because if not, I will friend you. Because you're in Simon's Facebook group, right? I think I've seen you in there. So if we're not friends, then I will friend you and give you some information about the Nigerian goddesses that I have information about. Because I think, now I'm thinking it's not this book. Okay. All right. I will message you on Messenger. It must be the one goddess book, of course. Well, no, I probably have 3 more goddess books downstairs. But one of them goes by, you know, these are a list of Greek goddesses, and then it has more information in other parts, so I can do that. Okay, beautiful. I'm sorry this session is kind of short. I just was one of those days. I had good stuff happen today too. I took my youngest son to go see Christopher Robin, which was the cutest. I love Pooh. Which was just the cutest thing. I love that he's 16 and he still will go to goofy stuff like that with me. It just was so cute. I'm definitely getting that one as soon as it comes out on video because I adore Pooh. And he's just, do I still have the Tay of Pooh? I love those little books, you know, the Tay of Piglet and the Tao of Pooh. I love those books. They are, if you do not have them, I highly recommend those books because they are great. But we will definitely plan on Saturday. I probably will not do another live until Saturday. Just because, like I said, tomorrow night is the wake and Friday is the funeral. And did you get the Tao of Pooh? Yay! Isn't it great? I don't know if you've had a chance to even open it, but literally you can open it at any point, and it just has the greatest information in it, and when you read it in Pooh's voice in your head, and it's incredible. It is incredible. I'm having a hard time with my boss. We should have a live on how to start. Oh, with my Book of Shadows. Yes, with my boss. Pew! On how to start your Book of Shadows. We can do that. I don't know. I just got it yesterday. Literally, you can, if you put Pooh's voice in your head open it to anywhere and read it in Pooh's voice, and it makes way more sense than it ever did with any other Tao book I ever read. It just does. I don't know why it makes more sense. Pooh is like the absolute god of Tao. I love him. And Piglet is the little god of Tay. Hi, Brittany. You're coming in on the end. I'm sorry, but I'm glad you made it. So yes, absolutely wonderful. I love Eeyore too. I do. Eeyore. And in the movie, Brad Garrett plays Eeyore, which is Raymond's brother from, Raymond, the show Raymond. You don't know who Pooh is? Oh my goodness, Cynthia. Oh my goodness. He is a cartoon character who is just the most enlightened little cartoon character I've ever seen. So look him up, Google him, YouTube him, and just watch a couple little YouTube videos on Pooh, because he is the greatest. He is the greatest. I know, I can't imagine not knowing who Pooh is. I love Pooh. He is the most spiritually enlightened cartoon there is, as far as I'm concerned. I have the Tao of Star Wars. I didn't even know there was a Tao. How did I not know there was a Tao of Star Wars? That's it. Now I have to go look it up and buy it tonight. I am a huge Star Wars fan, and I did not know there was a Tao. That's it. I'll be getting it this weekend. That's okay. Not all cartoons are equal. Some are really stupid, like, Transformers. My brother watched Transformers. I mean, it wasn't horrible, but eh. And I like SpongeBob too, so. All right, guys. I'm going to let you go tonight. Watched a great movie. I ended up going to the Spirit Halloween store, and I did get the Spirit Halloween deck. $8. It's a really good deck. I'm kind of surprised, because usually they're cheapo ones, but I'll be doing an unboxing of that probably tomorrow. So, yay! I hope everyone has a great night. I look forward to Saturday, and have a good couple of days until then. Thank you. All right, Xanthia, and I will message you specifically about the Nigerian. Blessings.